Well, COVID-19 and the ordering of the drug Remdesvir for South African patients has opened a Pandora's box of problems. Remdesvir has been known to shorten the recovery time for COVID-19 patients, but the results aren't consistent, although it's widely used in other countries. Concerns have also been raised about the potential for profiteering by drug companies and the gaps in the medicine regulation system. Becca Cease's Joan van Dijk joins us now. Joan, good evening to you. Firstly, Remdesvir, I mean, there's a lot of debate around the price of it, but does it actually work?
Yeah, as you said, the evidence is inconsistent on how well it really works, to the point where it's not even included in South Africa's COVID-19 treatment guidelines, so that the national department won't be ordering it for the public hospitals. There was a May study that showed that it can cut hospital times from 15 days down to 11 days in severely ill patients. And the researchers then thought that, well, it looks like the earlier you get it, the better for you. And that's how most antivirals work. But in August, about 2 weeks ago, a study came out that specifically looked at less sick patients who don't need oxygen, and found that a 10-day course of Remdesvir makes absolutely no difference. And the studies are set up in a slightly different way, so it's not completely apples and apples when you're comparing them. But the findings are so counterintuitive that the researchers say there's still so many questions about who should get it, for how long, and in combination with which medicines.
Which political issues are emerging around Remdesvir? I mean, when you have inconsistent medical data like this, it really opens the door for all sorts of infighting.
Yeah, it's quite heated given we don't really know how well it works. Some of the concerns is that the pharmaceutical companies are profiteering off the price. In South Africa, a generic version of Remdesvir costs 10,000 Rand for a course per person. And the latest research estimate is that a fair price for a generic version of that would be between 200 Rand for a 10-day course and 10,000 Rand. So while Cipla's price is in that range, it's still not clear whether that's actually a fair price for South Africa. Cipla has also sold 25,000 of these vials to the private sector, but there's an issue about, is it fair, and which patients will get it? Not all private sector patients will actually be able to afford it. Another issue is that in June, South Africa raised concerns about what actually goes into the deals between pharmaceutical companies and the companies that originally make the drug. We don't actually know how much technology and knowledge is changing hands, and that can affect the price. And South Africa argued that these trade secrets that are protected by the World Trade Organization can give us significant problems going forward in the pandemic.
So the Competition Commission now seems to be getting involved, or certainly taking notice. What's it looking at?
The Competition Commission is looking at the price of Remdesvir from everyone who's supplying it, so it's not just Cipla. There are 6 other companies in South Africa that now have permission to bring it in, and that request came from Zinsha and the Health Justice Initiative. They asked the Competition Commission to set up a system that regulates the prices of Remdesvir and COVID drugs before, kind of in advance, which is not something usually the Competition Commission would look at it after the fact. So what they're hoping this will do is plug some of the holes in the way that South Africa regulates medicine prices. At the moment, there's a cap on how much you can ask, and that's set by the seller of the medicine, but it doesn't give authorities a lot of wiggle room to decide whether it's actually a fair price they're being asked. So that's it'll be an interesting new development, and something that'll be useful not only for Remdesvir but for any other treatments that come out of the COVID situation.